All right, let's get started. So this is a quick review, guys. I do have some side notes to tell you guys because you guys were making a lot of mistakes. So let's start with this one here. This one wants to know what is cosine of x minus y. And I guess maybe at first, the first thing I'm going to do is, I guess I would probably write cosine x minus y and say that's cosine x cosine y plus sine x sine y. And then I'd probably go sine x, they give me sine x, they give me sine y. So I need these two dudes. So then from there, what I do is I draw my first quadrant in quadrant one. So here's quadrant one. Here's angle x. Angle x, it says sine x 2/5, so opposite over hypotenuse. So then that means this leg here must be 5 squared minus 2 squared. So that is the square root of, let's see, 25 minus 4, that's 21. I don't think square root of 21 breaks down. Leave it alone. Then the next one, quadrant 180 to 270, that is quadrant 3. So here's angle y. Opposite, -1, hypotenuse 3. The hypotenuse is never negative. So let's see what this leg is over here. Square root of 3 squared minus 1 squared. So that's going to be square root of 8. So -2 square root of 2. And I guess to be correct, I should put negative in front of all of them. So there it is. Yes, ma'am.
I'm sorry, but for the first quadrant that you did, I think you might have done the Pythagorean theorem wrong.
No. Let's see.
Because I think the square root of 5 is supposed to be the c, because it's the, what's it called? The hypotenuse?
No, the 5 is the hypotenuse. The hypotenuse is always whatever number you have in bottom of these, if it's a sine or a cosine. You know what I mean?
I might just be confused. Yeah. All right.
Yeah. The 5 is the hypotenuse. No, it's all good. That's why we're talking about these. So this is not the hypotenuse. It's just one of the legs. The hypotenuse is always the longest side, so that's why I subtracted.
Okay. I've got it now. Never mind.
That's all good. That's all good. So here we go. Cosine x, cosine y. I'm going to figure out what cosine x is. Cosine is adjacent over hypotenuse. So square root of 21 over 5. And then cosine y is this guy over here. So it's going to be a -2 square root of 2 over 3. And then the other two were given. Sine x was 2/5. And then sine y was -1/3. So let's see what we get. Positive times a negative, that's a negative. So -2 square root of 42. And then I want to make sure, oh, look, there was almost a mistake right there, guys. How come you guys didn't tell me? That should have been a plus. I almost made another mistake. Minus 2 over 15. It turns into a minus because you got positive times a negative. I can combine like terms. -2 square root of 42 minus 2 over 15. And I kind of want to factor out a -2 in the numerator. But I don't think they did that. And here it is, letter A. How do we feel, guys? Okay. Something that we need to talk about, side note, that a lot of you, and I'm talking a lot, it's actually a surprising amount. A lot of you told me in the activity, activity number 10, or it might have been number 11, I don't remember. A lot of you told me that the square root of 6 minus the square root of 2, when I square that, is equal to 6 minus 2. That is absolutely not true. This is a false statement. That is never true. When you square something that is a binomial, you have two terms. What you must do is do it again and do something called either FOIL, or, you know, that is a 6 there. Then that times that, that's going to be a minus square root of 12, which can be broken down, but we're going to leave it like that. Then another square root of 12, and then plus 2. So that's what it really is. So don't be, no, yeah, don't, I guess I'll write it right here, guys. Square root of A minus square root of B. When I square that, that does not equal A minus B. So don't do that. Hint, hint, you might see it again. All right, put it on your calendar before I continue, before I forget. You're going to have a quiz on Wednesday. And it's going to be over, pretty much, it's just going to be over this right here. I got to see work for full credit. If I don't see your work, I can't give you the full credit, guys. So I'm sorry. So put it
it's
on your,
just over the various like cosine x minus y or cosine x plus y or sine or tangent.
yeah. I probably won't put the tangent one.
Okay. And we can
Uh,
or we can't use the formula.
You can. For the quiz, you can. For the exam, I kind of don't want to because I feel like I'm just inflating averages. But you know what? We're in a pandemic. Let the averages be inflated. That was a joke, but you guys aren't laughing, so that's fine. My jokes are bad. I get it.
No, it was funny job.
You guys don't. Do you guys feel like are we learning? Do you guys feel like we're learning stuff? Okay. Do you feel like you're learning in other classes? All right. Sorry, guys, but in my class we're learning.
I feel like I'm learning in this class. Other classes, más o menos. We'll see.
Okay. Hey, más o menos. That's pretty good. That's pretty good Spanish there. All right, here we go. We're going to talk about double angles, and they're pretty simple, guys. And he says now we're going to derive sine 2a, and I hope you're not thinking like, oh my God, we're going to do all these crazy derivations. No, we're going to do a cheat. We're going to do a cheat. What type of cheat, Chavez? Well, do we know what sine a plus b is? Yeah, we do. Sine a plus b is sine a cosine b plus cosine a sine b. So here's the cheat. What's the cheat, Chavez? I'm going to turn that b into an a. So sine a plus a. Do you guys agree sine a plus a is 2a? Yeah. So here's my cheat. Everywhere there's a b, I just put an a. Sine a, cosine a, plus cosine a, sine a. Now that I have them together, guys, sine a times cosine a is the same thing as cosine a times sine a. How many of them do you count? Uh-oh. There's two of them. That's it. That's the formula. So here it is. Your first double angle formula. Voila. Pretty cool. Pretty nifty. I thought that was worthy of a happy face. So there's my happy face. If you want to rewrite it as 2 cosine a sine a, go right ahead. It's the same. Why did I choose to write the sine over the cosine? Because I saw the sine a over cosine first. If you like to do things in alphabetical order, then maybe you want to put the cosine in the front because C comes before the S. It doesn't matter. Whatever tickles your boat. Does that even make sense? Tickle? Can you tickle a boat? Okay, whatever. You know what? Let's just stick to this. Let's just continue this, guys. I was feeling silly. Now that I'm reading this, it sounds like I don't know. It sounds like a bully. So I'm gonna erase the beat up every school on AP Calculus. Let's just get through the day and get some good stuff here. So we're gonna do the same thing, guys. We're gonna do a cheat. I'm gonna write what cosine a plus b is up here. Cosine a plus b is cosine a cosine b minus sine a sine b. So again, you know where I'm going with this. I'm going to replace that letter b with an a. Cosine a plus a, and I'm going to write cosine a minus sine a sine a. And I'm going to slow down because I can see some of you guys writing. That's the benefit of being able to see you guys. They have the same argument, guys. So because they have the same argument, I can say that's the same thing as cosine squared a minus sine squared a. And side note, and I know by now everyone knows this, but just in case, cosine squared a means that it's cosine a that is being squared. I don't put the square after the a because then it means the argument is being squared, and we got to differentiate between the both. So now I have a nice formula. Cosine of 2a is nothing more than cosine squared a minus sine squared a. Oh, and I saw a lot of you this Saturday, guys. You guys came over to help out and all that good stuff. So it was happy moments, guys. It was happy. Everyone was in good spirits. All right, and then this is supposed to be you guys. You guys don't really ask much questions, but if you guys were here, maybe you would say, can cosine 2a be defined with different expressions? Heck yeah, it can. Oh, that was me. See, that was my. Okay, anyways, I'll stop. So remember from last semester, the Valentine's formula, cosine squared theta plus sine squared theta equals 1. Well, I can replace, let me go ahead and which one do I want to do first? I want to replace the cosine squared. I can replace a cosine squared with 1 minus sine squared. I got to keep the argument the same though. So instead of theta, I'm going to say a. So I'm going to substitute that guy for that cosine squared. So I'm going to write cosine 2a equals parentheses, and here's what I'm substituting again. 1 minus sine squared of a, close it, minus sine squared of a. And now I can just drop the parentheses, drop it like it's hot. I know that was lame, but I keep using that joke. It's like, I don't know, I like it because I can literally picture Snoop Dogg being and I don't know if you guys know who Snoop Dogg is. He's a rapper. And I can literally picture him like with a hot coffee or a hot chocolate, and he grabbed it and he dropped it like it was hot because it was hot. Like, oh, I drop it like it's hot. And then he just came up with that lyric on the spot. Drop it like it's hot, drop it. Okay, anyways, let's just do math here. 1 minus sine squared a minus sine squared a. There are 2 of them. So I can rewrite this as 1 minus 2 sine squared a. So there it is. There's another formula for what cosine 2a is. And again, side note, I'm going to do one more formula. What if I decided to substitute the sine squared? So I could have written sine squared theta equals 1 minus cosine squared theta. So that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to substitute this one now. So I'm going to put it in blue to differentiate the other equation here, guys. Cosine 2a equals, so here's the cosine squared from the original. That's just that guy. Minus, and then parentheses, I'm going to write 1 minus cosine squared a. This time distribute the negative there. So you have cosine squared a minus 1 plus cosine squared a. So now you have 2 of these cosine squared a, so you can rewrite this as 2 cosine squared a minus 1. So finally, and I can see you guys, hold on, I can see you guys writing extreme, so I'm going to slow down after this. 2 cosine squared a minus 1. There is my other equation.
I have a question.
Yeah, what's up?
Why did that one come out different than sine?
Well, because I substituted different things. That's why it came out different, but they all mean the same. You'll get the same answer no matter what.
Okay.
Different expressions, all meaning the same. And then the last one, the tan is not the exciting one, guys. The reason why the tan is not as exciting as the sine and cosine is because in everyday life, waves are all over the place. So sine and cosine have a lot of applications, especially in engineering. And I'm not saying that tangent does not have applications. It does. It just doesn't come out as much because of the applications. Like tan is different than a wave. All right. So anyways, let's see. Let's use tan a plus b. Hopefully by now you kind of have an idea how this formula looks like. It was tan a plus tan b all over 1 minus tan a tan b. Relax. If you don't know that, you can use your cheat sheet, your notes on Wednesday. If the tan even comes out, I'm debating whether to put it in or not. So from that, I'm going to do a cheat, and I'm going to go tan a plus a. So that's going to be tan a plus tan a over 1 minus tan a tan a. I feel like I'm ordering noodles. There's a noodle called miso tan at Tenko Ramen, and it's really good. And so every time I say tan, I think of noodles. Anyways, here we go. So from there, I can say that tan of 2a is nothing more than 2 tan A over 1 minus tan squared A. Algebraically, this is probably the one that is most entertaining because of the numbers and stuff. But we'll see. We'll do them all, and you guys will tell me which one you guys like best. Are we feeling okay so far, guys? All right, check it out. If you go to the next page, here are all the formulas. Now, I could have very easily have just told you guys, we're just going to use these formulas. Who cares where they come from? But I don't want to be that teacher, guys. So are you guys happy that you guys know where these formulas are coming from? Yeah, that's a lot better than someone just saying, well, where do these formulas come from? And we've derived every single formula we've done in this class, guys. Every single one. All right, how do we use it? Let's see what question example 2 says here. If cosine x equals 0.3, find the exact value of cosine 2x. Oh, there was a question on the UH math competition similar to this one. Check your answer numerically by finding the value of x, doubling it, and finding the cosine of the resulting argument. I also have an update for you UH math competition people. I think I have your login information ready to go. I think I need you guys to like pre-register for it or something. We'll have a meeting on Wednesday. Is a Wednesday a good time or no? After school? Don't worry, Taylor, we'll update you. All right, so here we go. Chavez, I can't do this without a calculator. Yeah, you can. In a minute, we'll check it with a calculator, but let's do it without a calculator. So I know, let's see, if I only have cosine x, you want to use this formula. Can you use the other two? Yes, you can. But why would you want to make life difficult on yourself? This formula here is the only one that is using cosine x. Now you could figure out what sine x is, but don't. Just go like this. Cosine 2x is equal to 2 cosine squared x minus 1. And I already know that cosine x is equal to 0.3. So I'm going to rewrite it. So cosine 2x, and I'm going to slow down here, guys, is equal to 2. And then cosine x is equal to 0.3. So I'm going to put 0.3 squared minus 1. Chavez, I can't do this without a calculator. Yes, you can. Look how simple it is. You know that 3 times 3 is 9. So 0.3 times 0.3 must be 0.09. 2 times 0.09 minus 1. How did I know that? Because there's a decimal there, guys. So you got to move that decimal. And then you double the 0.09. Can you do that without a calculator? Yes, you can, guys. If you double the 0.09, that's going to be 0.18 minus 1. And yes, you can do this without a calculator, guys. 0.18 minus 1. Well, if you have 100 and you subtract 18 from 100, that is what, 82? So then this must be a negative 0.82. And there it is, without a calculator, guys. So those kids that you see in Houston, when they're doing the math competition and they're doing problems like this, they're not smarter than you guys. They just have been they've been exposed to all this stuff. Hold on, guys, my phone's ringing. That was weird. Okay, I'll call her in a little bit. All right, and then they want us to check it by finding the actual angle and doubling it. So check it out, guys. I'm gonna go to Desmos. So let me see if I can share my screen here. So share, where are you, Desmos? I do not see Desmos. Share Desmos. Okay, there we go. I don't necessarily need a graphing calculator. I just want a scientific calculator. So I know that cosine x equals 0.3, so I'm going to find the angle of x. So how do I do that? I'm going to call it A, by the way. So I'm going to say A equals, then I'm going to go arc cosine. So where are you? Arc cosine of 0.3. And it doesn't matter, degree or radian. Let me go to radians, 0.3. So there it is. There's my angle. And now look what's going to happen. I'm going to push cosine. Oh, well, that's A. I'm going to push cosine, and I'm going to push 2A. And because I'm pushing 2a, that better give me that negative 0.82, or else I'm a fraud. And there it is, guys. Look at that. Cosine of 2a is negative 0.82. Do you guys see what we're doing here? Wow, this is so awesome. Yes, I know you can cheat the system for the UH quiz. Don't do this, even though I'm showing you guys that you can do that. But don't do this, please, because don't cheat the system, guys. We want to see if you really know. So I hope that you guys like that part. Do you guys like it when we do the calculator stuff and all that good stuff? I mean, I like it, but I don't know if you guys like it. All right, here we go. Here's how it is on UH. This is coming from the UH quiz. And yes, you can cheat the system, but don't. It wants to know what cosine of 2x is. They give you cosecant x equals negative 6. So from there, you can say, well, that's sine x equals negative 1/6. I'm going to choose, let's see, let's go to our little formulas. I'm going to choose the one that just has sine. That one right there. So on the side, I go side note. I know that cosine of 2x is equal to 1 minus 2 sine squared x. I already know what sine x is. You don't even have to bother. I mean, they got to give you, well, they don't have to give you that, but you don't even have to worry about what angle you're in. You can just plug it in and that's it. That's going to give you my formula. So I'm going to write cosine 2x is equal to 1 minus 2 parenthesis negative 1/6 close it squared. Can you do this without a calculator? Say yes. Yes, you can. 1 minus 2 parenthesis. When you square a negative, it turns into a positive. That's going to be 1 over 36. And then from there, well, let's see, 2 goes into 36 18 times. So what I now have is 1 minus 1 over 18. Now what do I do, Chavez? Turn that 1 into 18 over 18. 18 minus 1, that's a 17, so 17 over 18. Well, guys, we did it without a calculator. You guys can too. Don't cheat the system. If you're going to use a calculator, just use it for like little multiplication stuff. Don't use it to, don't use it to cheat. Last two, and I don't think these are very exciting problems, but I had to put them in here. It says, write an equation expressing cosine 10x in terms of sine 5x. So whenever you run across something like this, guys, recognize that 10x is double of 5x. Hence your double formula, guys. So I'm going to write cosine 2 5x close. And I'm going to use my formula for cosine 2x. It wants it in terms of sine 5x, so I'm going to use the same formula that I used in the last one. Equals 1 minus 2 sine squared of 5x. Done. There it is. That's it. If you want to put a parenthesis right there, that's fine. Done. There it is. My cosine 10x and expressed in terms of just sine 5x. It's being squared, but it's still sine 5x. That
Can
makes
you
sense?
explain that differently? Like, I understand why we put the 2 5x, but how
Oh.
come that's it?
Well, because the way the question worded, all it says is, I want this formula, the cosine 10x, which is this right here. That is cosine 10x. That they want cosine 10x expressed in the only thing they want to see is sine 5x. That's it. That's all they want to see. So that's how, don't worry, I'm not going to ask you this question. So if you're wondering like, oh man, how am I going to answer that when I get it? I'm not going to ask this question, not this one. But all they are asking is when they give you cosine 10x, can you give me a formula for cosine 10x that only has sine 5x? And I asked the same question again on the next one, but this one, it wants it from scratch. So you're going to see, maybe this one's better for you, Ms. Parker. So you'll like this one better. So this one says, write the equation in example 5. In example 4, that deleted one, directly from the composite argument property for cosine. So they want me to do the same thing, but they only want to see sine 5x. So here we go. Cosine, and instead of doing double angle, I'm going to do composite argument. That's the angle sum. 5x plus 5x is 10x. Do you guys agree? And now I'm just gonna do, that's like an A, that's like a B. Cosine 5x, cosine 5x, minus sine 5x, sine 5x. If you want to put parentheses on the arguments, that's fine. Cosine times cosine, cosine squared of 5x, minus sine squared of 5x. I don't want to see cosine squared 5x. I just want to see sine squared of 5x. I just want to see sine of 5x. So I do a little side note. And I know that cosine squared of 5x plus sine squared of 5x is equal to 1. So I'm going to substitute cosine squared 5x equals 1 minus sine squared of 5x. I was going to put theta, but I decided to put 5x in there. I'm going to substitute that expression, guys. So I come back. 1 minus sine squared of 5x minus sine squared of 5x. And I'm going to slow down so you guys can catch up. Drop the parentheses. 1 minus sine squared of 5x minus sine squared of 5x. If you already got your answer, that's fine. I'm just trying to show all the steps. There are 2 of them right here. Combine like terms. 1 minus 2 sine squared of 5x. And there it is. The same answer that we got previously. All right, guys, let me come back. You guys are already back, so let me come back.